Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Westman for Adapt Your Life, and I'm here with Suzanne Ryan. Your story is a great one, going from the classic, I'm just a regular person and now a cookbook author, and tell me a little bit about what this journey's been like.
You know, I think a lot of it has just been kind of realizing that I need to overcome fear and stop kind of self-limiting myself. I think a lot of times I just kind of grew up just not having the best self-esteem and self-worth, and I kind of devalued everything that was attached to myself. So I think this whole journey, through keto and kind of having a better relationship with food and just changing so many things, has just changed my perspective on everything. So now it's instead of fear kind of stopping me in my tracks, I'm kind of all right, this may seem a little scary, but I'll still get up on stage and I'll do it. And I'll still, push through those things, because it's so important for me for people to not feel alone, because I felt so alone with what I was going through.
Well, that resonated when you said that. I think that's almost a universal feeling that people have. Did you notice how many hands went up when you said, have you ever emotionally eaten before?
Yeah, and
every hand went up.
And it's so funny, because I think a lot of us know that happens, but we don't talk about it because there's a lot of shame and embarrassment and things like that. But I think the more we realize it, the more we can really be in touch with changing that and kind of evaluating, before we eat something, are we actually just stressed, or can we go for a walk or drink some water, or start curving actually the actions that we take when we start feeling those emotions.
So you showed a video of your progress as you were losing the weight of your YouTube, must have been posts that you put out on there, and so that's something that it's a generational thing. I'm pretty shy about doing that, and more though, that's a fairly common thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, it's funny, that first video that you saw in the YouTube video was the first time that I had ever said my weight, out loud, publicly. My husband didn't even know what I weighed. I was a really scary moment. But I kind of realized that, every time I shared something that I was so embarrassed to say, as soon as I just got it off my chest and shared it, not only was I, embraced with support and, kindness from other people, people are thank you for, saying the elephant in the room, because a lot of us carry these things around just so afraid for other people to know about it, that it just perpetuates us making ourselves smaller, and depression and anxiety. So I just think talking about it and sharing is so important for us to do.
Well, and it's a new phenomenon to, if you haven't Instagrammed it or Facebook, it didn't happen or something.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it didn't happen if you didn't post it.
Actually, but I think that's so important and helpful. Thank you for sharing your story. And how did you get into the book, Simply Keto?
Yeah, I mean, it was totally out of left field for me. I had never dreamed of writing a book or anything. And actually, Jimmy had recommended Victory Bell to contact me, Jimmy Moore, and he, so they contacted me and said hey, would you be interested in doing a book? And I'm I was not expecting that at all.
You'd never written
I had never,
book? You're not a writer?
No, I mean, I love to write in general, blog posts and Instagram posts, and I like to share. But I had never, I never knew anything about writing a book. So it was definitely intimidating at first. And as you know from writing books, it's a very labor intensive, lots of hours, lots of editing. But I was just so passionate about being able to help other people and to share my story that I was just kind of all right, my daughter goes to bed at 8, I'll work until 2 in the morning, with my laptop, falling asleep. But I just kind of pushed through, and then when it came out, it was just amazing with all the different press, and it was kind of once I put it out there that I was open to helping other people and being seen, it was kind of the universe was all right, get ready. So it was one show after the next, and then a book tour and lots of public speaking. So it's been a really great thing to just see that if you're open to stuff, there's tons of opportunities to do things and help people.
Well, and you had a moment where you had a change in mind, sent something to the universe, and then the book offer appeared.
It was not very long after, because I actually went to school for ultrasound, so that's what my trade is. So I'm an ultrasound tech, and so I was getting ready to study for my boards and go back to school for that, advance and get more certifications. But I loved talking about keto and all the emotional and mindset components of everything. But I was well, can I really do this full time and long term? And then literally it was 2 days later I got the offer for the book. So I was all right, I'm going to take this as a sign. I'm going to chase my passion. It seems really scary, but I'm so glad that I did.
And then Victory Belt has been good to work with.
Oh my gosh, they've been amazing.
They're just cranking out these keto books.
I know, there's so
Fantastic.
many. Yeah. What I really love is that they really let you put like whatever your vision is like right into it. So nothing, I didn't feel like anything had to be skewed or changed. It was just like my message and my heart, like all in that book.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And you're not so burnt out from this that to want to go back to ultrasound?
No, I'm like, I honestly don't think I could ever go back to ultrasound now. Like I went into medical because I wanted to help people, but I was too afraid to like get up and share. So now that I'm kind of getting past and over that getting up and sharing thing, now I'm all about, I'm all in.
You know, there is a link if someone is doing this lifestyle and they wonder about the effect on the heart and things like that. I do recommend actually getting ultrasounds of the neck and the aorta and anyway, to monitor the actual vascular system rather than just the blood tests.
Right.
And, what's the feedback you've received in your travels and all?
I think honestly the thing that most people say too is like you're so relatable and you're so real, and that's like it's kind of like the whole like I totally feel that way, like you sound like you're telling my story, like I feel I can relate so much. And I think in a lot of ways we have a lot of great people who are talking about keto but maybe haven't gone through like such a big like struggle in weight or like whoever is coming to keto for whatever reasons, for autoimmune issues or weight loss or epilepsy or like whatever it is, like if you talk about that then you always have a group of people who come out and say like, gosh, I'm so appreciative of you sharing that, because when you see somebody who's gone through what you're struggling with, it just gives you more hope than you could if you just talk to like somebody who maybe didn't go through it. So I just think that ultimately it's like that relatability, and for people being like, oh my gosh, like I thought that it was just me, and thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you.